Hey guys, Jordan here, Top Floors and More. We've got quite the project on our hands today, so follow me. Here in our trailer is just a few of the tools that we need. A lot of concrete grinding about to go on today, so we've got the big concrete grinder. We've got hand grinders as well. And
this is why you epoxy a floor in your trailer, because now we can just power spray that.
Yep, it's oil resistant, chemical resistant, all that. So we're actually going to put down a similar product in here. We've got the boards down, so we're not tracking too much mud in and out. So as you see here, it's got quite a bit of a mess. We're going to have to get a lot of this stuff out of here. We're kind of waiting on some guys to get things done, but we're going to have to get everything out and start grinding this floor. Now this has got paint on it, so we have a special bit for that. Sometimes we use mastic bits, sometimes, and we're also going to test the hardness of the concrete, and that lets us know what kind of grit we need to use. Sometimes we go softer, sometimes we go harder, just depends on the concrete. So after we get everything grinded down, that's going to help that primer coat, which is the first coat we're putting down. That's going to help everything to adhere and stick real nicely. And then after that, we're going to put down a base coat. It's got color in it. That gives it a background for our flake. So that way, say if you have a gray, black, and white flake, you might want to put down a gray base. Just a good little background for it. Anyways, before we do any of that though, lots of prep. Lots and lots of prep. Right now we are peeling up some old tile, and we've got some separate videos on that. We're having to heat it with a torch so that glue gets kind of sticky and it helps peel up a little quicker, a little easier. Not everywhere we're going to have to do that. And so yeah guys, like I said, it's a lot of prep. We're having to take some toilets out, some cabinets. Follow me in here, I'll show you. All this has got to be scraped up and prepped, and we're going to use our mastic bits. And that is specially designed for getting up glues and mastics. So pretty straightforward there. And so yeah, all this has got to come out because we don't want to take these cabinets off and go around this with epoxy in case, you know, they ever decide to put new cabinets in or take these old ones out. We don't want there to just be a big space where there's just bare concrete. So eventually we're going to get these cabinets out of here, take all that tile out underneath, and we're going to grind it down just like the rest of it. So yeah guys, it's going to be a whole lot of grinding, a whole lot of prep, and a whole lot of cleanup. But that's about 80% of it is the prep. You get your prep right, and everything else will fall into place. So, is there anything else I'm missing?
What about, because I hear stories all the time on companies, not naming any names, but they claim that they could do like a garage floor in one day.
Well, I would say to that the prep work is not 100% if that's the case. If your prep work's not 100%, you're not going to get that 20-year guarantee like you get with us. And I mean, honestly, when it comes to epoxy, you're going to get a lot longer. And we're using a polyaspartic top coat on this flake, and it's UV resistant, chemical resistant, so you can do this indoors or outdoors, such as porches, patios, things of that nature. But yeah, like I said, if you don't prep it right, a lot of these guys are just coming in and they're just roughing up the floor a little bit and slapping some epoxy down. You really got to get a good physical bond, and the only way to do that is proper grinding. So yeah, like I said, mostly prep, but we'll get back with you guys when we get to our next section.
What about water? What if... Oh, somebody's phone's ringing. I was just going to say about water. Do you guys test for moisture? Because what happens if moisture comes up through the epoxy?
That kind of ties in with us testing the concrete, kind of like when we test the hardness. And what we do is we put a vapor lock on top of that, so that way whenever we are testing it and we're using our bits and everything, we know kind of what process we want to take as we're prepping. And that helps to keep any moisture from coming up, getting through. Sometimes it depends on how porous the concrete is, and we take all those things into account because it does affect the floor. So yeah, I think that's about it for now. Like I said, we'll get back with you guys and make sure that we're kind of showing you the whole process here. So you guys, yeah, you're gonna, yeah, let's just stay right there.
So that when we're finished, we can have a. What about this?
Well, we have our crack filler that we mix into our epoxy, and we put that down before we put our primer on. So that way you're not getting any lines in your actual finished product. You don't want to look down the floor when the light hits it just right. Is that a seam there? No, we want everything to be continuous. We all want it to flow together, all be flat, smooth, all one. So we'll make sure any cracks or any spots are filled before we even put our primer down. So, yep, gonna be taking the toilet completely out. Not gonna go around it. We're gonna take it out, do it right. Everything that needs to come out is just gonna have to come out. And then we'll install everything after the epoxy's down. Yeah. Lots of tile removal. Lots of tile removal. That's going to be probably the majority of what the time that it's going to take. So. You guys have a great day. You know we are.